Now that you're dead, was it worth it? Was it? Hey Credos! My only vlogging motivation lately has been to express my concern for the utter lack of logic being embraced by our country during Corona. As Scott Jensen, a Minnesota senator and actual physician, said recently, science has been sacrificed on the altar of panic. People, just stop. There are a couple of things I need to address about COVID, but I'll probably break this up into 2 short vlogs for your viewing pleasure or displeasure, either way. Please subscribe if you want to hear about all the parts of all the things that are driving me nuts right now. Let me know in the comments how scared you are of dying. Today, I would like to address an all too frequent and utterly irrational position being used to demand compliance from others, or to shame others into obeisance, which is really odd given how out of fashion shaming of any kind has become. Even shaming for really shameful things isn't kosher anymore. Tangent, anyway. I do not wear a mask, on principle and on science, yes. That's my choice, and I don't care what you wear on your face. As long as your mask doesn't turn into a raging ball of incivility due to the fact that you feel unidentifiable under your mask. There's a reason crooks wear masks, you know. But as long as you stay civil and decent, I don't care. Wear whatever you want. Here is a sad truth. Life is risky. It's always been risky. It's risky with a mask and without a mask. It will never stop being risky. Even if you sit in a sterile plastic bubble, there will be risks. Like if someone pokes a fork in your bubble and it deflates and you suffocate or get contagions. I am a grandma with 3 to 5 people, depending on the criteria you accept, in my immediate family who are in COVID risk groups. No one in my family expects you to alter your life to protect me or us. And I think expecting that would be the selfish position. Instead, just as I have for the past 56 years, I intend to continue to carefully choose which risks I am willing to accept and which risks I will avoid. Whenever I present this incredibly apparently controversial position, here's a sampling of what I've been told. Is it worth the risk to your parents to be isolated from everyone? Okay, so my parents are both dead, so they're already kind of isolated from us, but that's fine. When you end up on a ventilator, I hope you think it was worth it. Will it be worth your recklessness when your whole family is dead? I hope you don't end up dead and sorry. Or maybe I do, because it will serve as a cautionary tale to others. I hope you think it's worth it. So here's the fallacious part of all this nonsense about what life is worth. The general populace has lost its collective mind with regard to risk assessment. We've always had risks. These people take a worst case scenario and they're presented as if it's both a foregone conclusion and as if there's a predictable outcome. According to Dr. Scott Atlas from Stanford, yes, another real medical doctor, currently the case fatality rate of COVID for anyone under 70, which if you can't tell from this non-injected face, still includes me, is 0.04%, which is less than half that of a lot of flu epidemics. I know you can't bring up influenza in any context when you're discussing COVID, but it's statistics. If you get mad about statistics, you're being irrational. I cannot help you with that. Come back down, let's talk. Let me try to explain this with a real life example from my husband's family. My husband's aunt, sister, niece, and father were all killed in car accidents. To restate that, my mother-in-law lost her sister, her daughter, her granddaughter, and her husband to auto fatalities. So first of all, we are not demanding that all humans stop driving, even though there are upwards of 40,000 deaths in the US every single year. And even though every single time you get behind the wheel, you're engaging in a risky behavior that may result in someone else's death. And even though those auto deaths are very personal in my family. So is it worth driving when people die? When your whole family ends up at the morgue, will you still think it's worth it? So here's the real question in both risk cases. Was it worth crossing the street last week knowing that your daughter would be hit by a car and killed? Was it worth driving to that meeting in Salt Lake on Friday knowing that a semi-truck would broadside you and kill you? Of course, the answer to this kind of question is always no. Of course, given a particular incident that could have been mitigated, given a crystal ball, few choices would be worth someone dying. So if gifted a perfect knowledge of the future, we should have chosen not to cross the street that particular moment and would have stayed home from that meeting that Friday. But a known past event is not the same as a statistical probability. The question being posed by shamers is a different one entirely. Their question really is, was it worth ever crossing a street knowing that your child would die crossing a street someday? Was it ever worth going to a meeting knowing that your husband would die en route to a meeting? So if I knew ahead of time that going to Walmart on July 20th at 6 p.m. without a mask would directly lead to my imminent and painful demise or yours, I would change my plans. But should I be expected to alter my life and that of everyone around me in all public circumstances because of the potential, possible, although tiny possibility that it could lead to the spread of a virus that could kill you? And if so, what other risk management must we engage in to be good citizens? Because that's what you're really asking. So do I know I could contract COVID and die? Yes! Just like I could die in a car ride, or on a walk, or at the amusement park, or on a plane, or scuba diving, or going on a zip line, and on and on and on. I could die sitting on my freaking couch. I know this. You know this. Last night, Sam and I went to get barbecue at Wallaby's restaurant. We ate our dinner inside without masks. If I find out that I contracted COVID last night in the restaurant at 6:30 p.m., if I end up seriously ill and later die after much suffering, was it worth it for one night of barbecue? No, probably not. It's really good barbecue. But that's not your question. Your real question is it worth staying out of restaurants and away from those human balls of infection indefinitely, just in case you might be one of the fraction of a percentage, remember 0.04%, who will die? And the answer from me is unequivocally no. No, it's not worth it. If you have a different answer, you live your life as you choose. I choose to take the risks of living a full life. That's the video. Give it a thumbs up if you've ever engaged in risky behavior in your entire life. Please subscribe and ring that notification bell to see my second COVID rant. And come on over to Instagram and follow Midlife Credo, where I'm less controversial and also less popular, interestingly enough. Join the Midlife Tribe on Facebook too, where we are thriving midlife without the crisis. Now you go out and take a risk.